time.
The boys are back. That's right, Florida Man Sports is here with another exciting episode. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. This is Florida Man Sports.
This is where you do an intro.
Ladies and gents, Florida Man Football, we're live.
So you're drinking Dominican beer in Peru? Is that what we're doing here? Okay.
Where I'm at, Johnny, is none of your business.
Okay, that's fine. No big deal.
Let's go.
I'm in Paris. I'm in Paris right now. As you can tell from the identical walls I had in the last.
You're kind of like hollow, like at an angle. Are you like in a place where you have to be quiet? Are you like, hiding or something? Are you okay?
Am I hiding? I try to find a spot to record so that I actually have some reception because I'm in, I'm in a remote. I'm in the south of France, so the remote area is not a lot of reception here. So.
Well, listen, man, Florida Man Football, even when we're out doing what we got to do, we're still getting our picks in. That's what this is about, Johnny Cinco.
Yes, it doesn't. Yes.
I got some breaking news for you. You ready to rock and roll?
Okay, what's the breaking news?
Florida Man Football hit 11 last week. We're on the board. 11 W's we brought to the PTA.
I thought you had more than that. Wasn't there 16 games?
It may have been 12. That's how humble I am. That's how humble I am.
Well, you had 3. You dropped 3, but I'm pretty sure it was 15 or 16 games. So 11 ain't gonna work.
However the case.
Anyway, I know. You have, the math ain't math, and it's okay. We got 3 losses. Did very well.
Back, and
you guarantee 10 plus wins, and you got those. Good job.
Florida Man Football is back, and we're going to carry that onto this week. Before I go into the picks, because it is quick episode, Johnny Cinco, any thoughts on Miami losing their game, on Jacksonville winning a close game? Any thoughts on any of those games?
Miami's Miami. We knew what was going to happen with them, and they proved us right. Miami is effectively, giving up on the season. The trades they made today, giving up their best pass rusher and everything else, proved that where they're at. Jacksonville won a game, but they won a game because the Raiders, manned up and they refused to go ahead and be like, no, we're not going for the tie. We're going for the win. And they didn't get it. I respect the Raiders for making that move. But coming away from that game, Jacksonville won the game, but this is one of the worst teams in the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders, and they barely beat this team. I told you that if they weren't able to beat this team, then we know where they're at. The pretenders have no chance. Even though winning this game, I still have that same feeling. There's nothing about that win.
Like I said, John, I have them at 8-9 wins. They just proved me right. But go ahead, you're right. But they proved me right.
There's nothing about that win that made me feel good about the Jacksonville Jaguars forecast for the rest of the year. They made some moves today, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. So, at the end of the day, we'll see. But both of those games, Miami, just a train wreck. Forget it. We know where they're at. We know the owner already said that there's not what I had said weeks ago, that they're not going to fire the coach. They're going to ride it out with him, because why would they? He's fine with them losing. They don't need to have the interim coach come in and maybe get some wins. Why? They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to win playoff games. Let them go ahead and get a top 3 pick, and they're going to see what they're going to do next year. And I'm interested in knowing the coaches and what the options are. I'm hoping by this point next season, Gruden has finished his thing with the NFL, and we see John Gruden as the next head football coach for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. To your point, right? Greer being fired is not really breaking news for me here at Florida Man Football, because you still have the coach. So, in other words, what we're basically saying is that we admit that we're wrong, but we're not going to do anything about it, and rightfully so. We're going to wait. And you know what? I like the fact that we're not going to have an interim coach, someone who wins a couple games and then gets put in that hot seat of maybe you get hired, maybe you don't. Just rip the Band-Aid and be done with it. We're going to stick with the coach. It's going to be done. At the end of the year, we're going to move on. And I like the play too. And then for Jacksonville, man, I agree with everything you said on Jacksonville as far as them still not proving anything yet to me. I still have them winning 8-9 games, but I will add this with the Raiders. I like the call, right? You either go for it because you're trying to win the game. But when you're a team like the Raiders with the season you've had, that's the only exception to the rule, in my opinion. Like, you're the Raiders, right? You've had a terrible season and expectation. You're the one team that's not supposed to go for it because your luck hasn't been your way, but you did. But hey, it is what it is. Duval wins, and that's all that matters at the end of the days.
No, but the Raiders, they had the same situation that Green Bay had with Dallas, and they weren't going to go for the tie. They're like, we're going for the win, or we're going to lose. It's fine. I appreciate that move. I respect that move. What is a tie going to do? What is a tie going to do? It's a non-divisional game. What is a tie going to do for the Raiders? They went for the win. They didn't get it. They didn't get it because they had horrible play calling, especially in that fourth quarter. I don't know what they were doing. The offensive coordinator is made some interesting calls. But in the day, they went for it. They didn't get it. Jacksonville wins, great. But we'll see if they're gonna. I'm waiting for Trevor Lawrence to do something, bro. I'm waiting to see something from Trevor Lawrence. I'm tired of seeing this quarterback.
That's going to show us. That's going to show us that you're going to win more than 8, 9 games. I get it. I get it 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
100%. But yeah, man. Hey, listen, it's Florida Man Football streaming on all major platforms. Again, we are tuning here from 2 various locations, undisclosed locations, Johnny. But man, let's jump right into it for the fans here, because again, we set the bar here. We're gonna rock and roll with these picks. You ready to roll?
Okay. Yeah, 10 plus guaranteed.
Let's go. Let's start with Thursday night football. Talking about those stinky Raiders are taking on the Broncos at home. Broncos are 7-2. I do owe them an apology for starting 7-2. I didn't think they would do that. Who's winning this game, Johnny?
A divisional game here, but we know who the significantly better team is. This is a Broncos win. Let's not overthink this. I mean, we saw what they did against Jacksonville, barely scrapped by and barely lost. The Broncos are not the Jags. Broncos win.
Can I give you a pushback on this one, even though we both
Well,
picked Broncos to win?
I know it could be a trap game. I'm well aware it's possible they can rebound,
And
especially
after
to be
what
in division.
Green Bay did this week, right? There was 2 teams that just
Of
what the
course.
Lions did this week. Like, I'm just like, what in the world is going on? But again, Florida Man Football consensus is still Broncos. Let's rock and roll.
Smith is still the quarterback for the Raiders.
There you go. That's right. Let's go into Sunday football. Johnny Cinco, the Falcons and the Colts. Colts lost the game like I said that they would. Got a little humble pie there. Taking on this Falcons team that I guess people really can't figure out yet for whatever reason. Colts are at home. Money says the Colts. Who's winning this game?
Colts are going to win this game. The Falcons are a good team. They can't figure it out because they see so much talent. The problem was you got the wrong coach. You decided to go ahead and sit this young coach that's like, oh yeah, he's going to vibe with the culture, he's going to vibe with the players. It's not working. You needed an authoritarian there. You needed a Bill Belichick. You went the wrong route, and these are the consequences. A terrible
Right.
team.
Couldn't say it better myself. Giants and Bears, Johnny Cinco. The Bears are the home team in this one. You know, 5-3 is a lot better than it was last year for the Chicago Bears.
That's true.
We know the injuries for New York. Who's winning this game?
I mean, this game can go either way because the Bears, they like to kind of fall apart and then run their way back in the fourth quarter. Crazy game with Cincinnati last week, but the Bears are still a much better team than the Giants. The Giants still have a rookie. It should be an interesting game. It's not going to be as low scoring as people think, but the Bears are going to win this game.
Bears win at home. Bills and Dolphins, Johnny Cinco talking about divisional games. I have to say, try to give the Dolphins some type of hope here. Dolphins are the home team. There's more hope there. After the Greer move, right? Who is winning this matchup? Dolphins are at home.
I would seriously consider um, the Dolphins, if the Dolphins didn't just go ahead and throw out the white flag. They traded away their players. They're conceding the season. So regardless, you get rid of your best pass rusher. You're going to rely on Tua and Waddle alone to go ahead and carry that. I don't see it happening. The Dolphins are not winning this game even at home, and we've seen the Dolphins have no problem losing at home. The Bills win.
Couldn't say it better. Let's talk a little bit of Ravens and Vikings. You got the Ravens that are now revamped with the quarterback there coming back. And you've got, of course, the Vikings that ended up pulling upset last week. They're at 500 at 4-4. Ravens are 3-5, trying to claw their way back in. Who was winning?
I mean, they are playing in Minnesota. I do like J.J. McCarthy. He's been looking really good when he was in the game. He had that one bad game, and people are ready to go ahead and say, oh, it was a fluke. No, he's a really good quarterback. This is truly his rookie year. He's showing everything. But the Ravens, under Lamar Jackson, they're a different team. They're a completely different team. They're the team we expected to see. So, well, Lamar's there. The Ravens, it's hard for me to pick against them. Ravens win this game.
Yeah, Moneyline says that -4.5 Baltimore Ravens win on the road. And thank you for bringing up Lamar Jackson. A few of these, you know how that goes. Browns and Jets, Johnny Cinco. The Jets are at home. They finally got a W. They finally won a game. You're seeing the ups and downs with the rookie quarterback there in Cleveland. Who is winning? Jets are at home.
This is the worst, easily the worst game of the week. The toilet bowl here going on here, but same way I called out Miami for giving up on the season. The Jets did the same thing. They trade Sauce Gardner, to the Colts. They trade their best defensive player. That's the white flag there. At home, still Cleveland's good defensively. Justin Fields can go ahead and score some points. Maybe, I don't know. I think Myles Garrett's going to be all over him. This is a tough game, but the home game, I thought this may be a game that Sanders is actually going to make an appearance, but the Browns are a
Wow.
terrible franchise. They don't know what they're doing. They're just they're losing with Gabriel. They're losing, and they're still not willing to go ahead and give this kid a chance. Let me see what you got. It's ridiculous, but in this particular case, I think the Browns win at home.
Browns went out. Let's go. I wanted to wait for all the other picks, but let's just rip the Band-Aid on this one. Florida football streaming on all major platforms.
Okay.
Patriots, Bucs. Bucs coming off the bye week. Patriots having a very good season at 7-2. Let's call it. Let's be real. They're having an incredible season by all expectations based on last year at 7-2. Bucs are at home. They're a little bit healthier. Who is winning this game?
I mean, the Patriots are having the type of season that Patriot fans expected. We expected Drake May to go ahead and have a stellar sophomore year. We expected Mike Vrabel to do what Mike Vrabel does. We knew the moves that were made were the correct moves. The only move that I questioned with the Patriots was Stephon Diggs, and he's proven me right to where I'm like, you're not really doing much of anything. He had that one spectacular catch, but really it was a spectacular throw by May. So there's nothing really there I've seen there. This team is playing the Bucs coming off of the bye week at home. It is interesting because I said last week that this game isn't so solidified. Are the Patriots for real this year? Are they're going to compete this year for real in the playoffs, or are they just a good team that's still moving on? If they win this game, they solidify the fact that they're for real this year. But coming off of the bye week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're getting healthier. They're not 100% healthy, but I expect Bucky Irvin back. I expect Duka back. I expect some players back that to really perform in this particular game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win this game less than 3 points. Close game here. Tampa Bay Bucs, Patriots play them close, prove they belong.
Offline, I'm gonna want to know if you did that because you don't want to jinx your, but we'll tailor that till offline. But
Okay.
I don't know. Very close game he's calling. Saints and Panthers, Johnny Cinco, another divisional game here. The Panthers, man, 5-4. Again, surprising everybody, kind of like the Patriots this season, unless you're a Patriot fan. And the Saints, of course, at 1-8, where I expected them to be. Panthers are at home. Who's taking it?
Well, I told you before the season that the Panthers are going to have a much better season than they did last year. It's tough. I mean, it's an easy take to do because you can kind of see there's nowhere to go but up when we're talking about the Carolina Panthers and the season they had last year. But you were dogging Young, you're dogging saying he's done. He's had a decent year. I'm not really to hype him up. He's playing better. Really, I think this is the coach, the scheme. He's making all the right moves, and their running game is unstoppable. Dowdle is just having an insane game, leading the league in rushing with playing, 3 or 4 games? He's leading the league in rushing. He's and at the end of the day, the Saints are terrible. They're obviously returned to their rookie. So the Carolina Panthers should easily win this game.
Yeah, to your point, another team that's trading players. So absolutely, Panthers winning this one. Let's put back one more. Our last Florida team here, the Jaguars. They're traveling another divisional game here, Johnny Cinco. They're taking on the Texans at home. And let's be real, Jags are 5-3, Texans are 3-5. This is going to be like their playoff game as far as I'm concerned. If you're Houston, Houston being at home, of course, like I said, who's winning this game?
Well, this is interesting being home. CJ Stroud, is he confirmed if he's playing? I didn't see any
I believe
updates
so.
on that.
I believe he is.
So it is interesting on what this particular game here, but I'm going to go ahead and somehow think that they're going to go ahead and take that interesting win against the Raiders and go ahead and push it and win this divisional game against the Texans. They made a move for Myers. I don't know how impactful that's going to be. Maybe be a distraction. Maybe Thomas has a big game, but I need Trevor Lawrence to show me he's worth half of the money he's been getting. You were
You're
dogging
like a
Tua.
every week. You're asking for him to
Yeah,
step
but
up.
you're dogging Tua so hard, and I'm like, why is nobody dogging Trevor Lawrence? Tua, I've seen spectacular games. I haven't seen any spectacular games by Trevor Lawrence. His game-winning, touchdown against Kansas City was a joke. It was just like a a Monty like Python skit, and he somehow went ahead and scored. So I need to see a game. I don't need to see like an epic game. But give me a 300-yard game, 2 touchdowns, no pick, no turnovers game. Give me something that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you
I
really
agree.
showed. Give me
I agree.
something. And I'm thinking that maybe this is it. It's just the Texans are just a lack of talent, lack of weapons. Jacksonville has the weapons here. They just need to go ahead and actually do it. Jacksonville wins this game.
Okay, let's talk about the Cardinals and Seahawks, the battle of the Birds. Johnny Stanko, Seahawks for the home team. It looks like the Cardinals may have a change at quarterback. Maybe not this game, but maybe coming soon. Seahawks obviously making trades as well during free agency. So they're on, excuse me, during the trade period. So they're on top there. Seahawks money line says -6.5. Who's winning this game?
I'll make it short and sweet in terms of the game. Seahawks are winning this game. We saw what they did against the Commanders. They're a really good team. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. The Cardinals are not. Now, I can tell you that they did confirm, it's already been confirmed that Kyler Murray will not be starting this upcoming game, and it's not due to injury. He was expected to come back, and they announced that no, Jacoby Brissett is going to be the guy, which tells me it's done. The Kyler Murray era is done. This new ownership, new coach, new everything here. They didn't draft this guy. They didn't give him the contract. They're going to look to go ahead and trade this guy in the offseason. It's not going to happen in the offseason. They're going to look to. I think Kyler Murray's done. The only chance we see him coming back in is if somehow Brissett gets injured. But I think the Cardinals, they're going to move on from him. They're going to look and see who they can pair with Marvin Harrison Jr. next year and draft somebody or maybe pick somebody up. Who knows? Crazy things can happen. Maybe they make this is something that Miami needs to consider when you see something like this. Consider trading Tua to Arizona. See if they're willing to take. I mean, they're not going to take the full contract, but see if you can go ahead. He's due like a 50-something million next year. It's a team like this where you can see like Tua's shown enough promise, enough flashes to maybe have you consider, hey, let me go ahead and take a flyer on Tua. That's when the GM needs to step in and go ahead and make those phone calls and see what's happening. But Kyler Murray, I think, is done in Arizona, and clearly the Seattle Seahawks are winning this game.
Now that you just announced that it's confirmed and that he won't be playing, it's one thing. It's a smart move, right? Look at it from both ways. Number one, you've got the Cardinals that are at 3-5 going, hey, maybe a change at quarterback at 3-5. Maybe we believe our team is better than what we think it is, and it's the quarterback. And then to your point, let's see what we have in Marvin Harrison with another quarterback, because he's also, he's not a guarantee to be the long-term solution. Let's see what he does with a new quarterback. So I like it. I like the move altogether. But like you said, right, Seahawks win. Let's talk about the Rams and the Niners. Johnny Cinco, we got it, man. Both teams 6-2, 6-3. The Rams find a way to win games at 6-3. The money line. What's funny is the money line is -3.5. I would have thought the Rams win. I would have thought it'd been a lot greater. Niners are the home team. Who's winning this game?
Well, these two always play tough games. Always tough games between these two. That's reason probably why the money line is what it is. But the Rams are arguably the best team in the NFL. Arguably. I don't consider them that, but they can be. The Rams are going to win this game. The Niners, I get it. They still find a way to win with injuries and everything else. I'm not sure if Purdy's back. Doesn't really matter. The Rams are just too good of a team to lose. It's still going to be a close game like this. These two teams always play each other. It's going to come down to a field goal, but somehow the Rams will come up on top.
Hey, talking about the afternoon games. Johnny Cinco here. We're talking about the Lions Commanders. We know the Commanders, since Jaden Daniels had that horrific arm injury, if you saw it. So of course they are going to be the home team. The money line says -9.5 Detroit, even though they're on the road. Who's winning this one?
Yeah, 9.5 is an insane amount in an NFL game. But regardless, the Lions are going to win this game. You saw what happened with Daniels. Same way that Lamar Jackson is necessary for the Ravens to win consistently. The same thing with the Commanders. They can't win without him. Coach should have never had him in the game. The game was done, and he paid the price for it. Then he's done for the rest of the season. We'll see what happens next season. But yeah. They're not winning this game, bro. We know who's winning this game. Don't overthink this.
Yeah, I like that, right? Jaden Daniels kind of holds that team together. Yeah, good point. Let's talk about the Steelers and the Chargers, Johnny. Steelers on the road team this time. Money line says the Chargers -2.5. Again, the Steelers are 5-3. Chargers are 6-3. I feel like the Steelers, I don't know, man. Like there's a stock market this season as far as their season has gone. But who's winning this game?
Listen, if they were playing in Pittsburgh, honestly, I would pick the Steelers, especially seeing how they played against the Colts last year, 4-6 turnovers. against the Colts last week, excuse me, and they looked like the Steelers that people expect. That's tough-nosed defense. Offensively, they still look solid, but no, man, the Steelers are not playing at home. They're not the same team. I do not see the Steelers beating the Chargers in LA, especially with the Chargers. I like their tight end, how they look. Herbert's been looking good. Their defense is better. Chargers win this game.
With the way that I was saying, the Steelers have kind of been up and down all season, and the way that some of these games, like the Lions last week, have played out, you could have gone anywhere. I feel like with this game, but hey, Florida man
I agree.
says Chargers winning at home. It's going to be a close game. As we have the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Titans, and the Chiefs, they're all on bye weeks. Johnny, Monday Night Football wraps it up. We got the Eagles and the Packers. Again, what just talked about it. Packers find a way to lose again here. They're at 5-2-1, taking on the Eagles, who are 6-2. Let's give the Packers this. They got home field advantage. If that's a thing here, who's winning this game?
Yeah, they got home field advantage. They lost to the Carolina Panthers while giving up 100 yards passing. They had 100 passing yards, Carolina, and they lost, and Carolina beat them. Like, that defense did their job. And the offense just completely let them down. Now, it's hard for me to go ahead and pick the Packers with the Eagles coming off of a bye week. They're coming off a bye week. They're coming in there. The Packers have shown no heart in the last few games. Even in some of the games they barely squeaked by and won. The last few games, I don't know what's happening. The Eagles are going to handle the Packers in Lambeau.
Let's go. Those are the picks, Johnny Cinco, for this coming week. Like we said, we're guaranteeing another 10-plus wins, getting this thing rolling right at the middle of the season. Any thoughts on that?
No, I think this last week here, the only thing is I have to ask you, I mean, who is now that we kind of see what, the Colts, they lost, like you predicted that they're going to fall off, because usually the person at top of the rankings, they fall off here. Who is now atop of your power rankings, Chris? Who's the top team in the NFL?
I think now it's so funny that halfway in the season, great question. It's still the Eagles, man. Short and sweet, it's still the Eagles. To be the man, you got to beat the man. The record is there, and for me, they're getting hot at the right time. They're winning games that they should be winning, and I don't know how you can make an argument for any other team. Colts lost, like you said, right? Colts lost last week. We picked
Yeah, they
that one.
lost.
Yeah, and so I mean, at the end of the day, how do you not give it to the returning champions? So for
I
me,
can
it's
I
for
can
me,
tell
and number one, it's still the Eagles.
I can tell you how. I mean, the Eagles, because it's week by week, and we see the list. This
Of
what's happening.
course.
So it's hard for me to go ahead unless everybody's kind of not playing as well. But the Eagles are coming off of a bye week, so for me, I got to look at the hottest team in the NFL and say the top of the power rankings go to the New England Patriots, the best team in the
Tim,
NFL
you just did.
after week 9. After week 9. So what happens here? So the Patriots are top. Does that mean they're going to finish the top? No, but it is what it is.
You
You're
just
asking me
did
at
what you
the
were
end,
not supposed to do, Johnny. You
at
just
the
broke
end
the
of the
covenant.
week. At the end
Broke
of the
the covenant.
week. At the end of the week, you have to sit here and say that right there up top here. Now, are they going to stay up top there? They played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and for me, that this game between the Pats and the Bucs is really going to solidify. Whoever wins this game goes to the top of the power rankings in the NFL, at least definitely the NFC.
Okay.
So,
So
for the
well, let me
for the
let me let me
Bucks.
help you. Let me help you. Let me help you.
Okay.
I have got the Bucks this week at number 5 in my power rankings, and I've
Okay.
got the New England Patriots at number 7. And I think that's a great ranking for a team. That's a great ranking for a team that's about to play a playoff team this week. And to
Okay.
your point, the winner of that game, the winner is going to move up to the top 4. So it's a big game. It's a huge game for the Bucks and for the Patriots. But ain't
No,
no way in God's green earth,
listen,
ain't no way in
it's.
God's green earth, based on strength of
mm,
schedule, that
Uh,
I'm going to put the Patriots at number 1. Get out of here, man.
I'm sorry. I'm
So,
sorry.
but don't make
Sorry
it a
again.
top 4. Don't make it a top 4.
I'm telling you right now, they're at top. Now, after this game, it changes up here because you want to say you're in dog the Pats. The Pats have lost 2 games,
I'm
and at the
not
end of the day,
dogging it, Johnny. I'm just saying
at the end of the day,
schedule's important.
you've watched the games and they've handled those games. They look really good. The offense and defense looks really good. Special teams, all aspects of his team looks good. So I have to go ahead right now, give it to them. Now we'll see what happens. We know the trend and what's been happening. Part of the reason why I had to go ahead and pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this upcoming game because of that and what's happening. Normally, you're up top, you get tumbled off, but still, I'm going to give it to them. Second question, I guess I have for you, thinking about this past week, Chris. Are you finally going to admit put a fork in them. They're done. The Dallas Cowboys. You were sticking by them that they go in the playoffs. We saw what they did. They got handled by the Arizona Cardinals. Handled. Are you ready to put a fork in them?
No, I mean, it's another great question, Johnny. And listen, here at Florida Man Football, streaming on all major platforms, a man can admit when he's wrong. A man, I have no problem saying, hey, I messed up. I hung on a little too long and I probably shouldn't have. I got to also argue and say that, the tie should have probably been the thing to wake me up. So let me just say this. I'm going to stay till the wheels fall off. Cowboys are not eliminated. They're still in the playoff contention. And I
Okay.
still, after this trade, which we're going to perfect segue into the trade that the Cowboys just made, and Jerry Jones, we're going to trust in. And yes, the Cowboys, them boys, still got a chance at the playoffs.
Okay. The only thing I'm going to talk about the trades are okay. They traded for Miami's best pass rusher. Great. I understand that. Their issue, yes,
Yeah, they
that
got Bengals
helps.
Bengals
Having a good
linebacker
pass
Logan
rusher
Wilson.
helps, but their secondary is still the same. There's still a terrible, terrible defense. Arizona was making fun of them when they're scoring, saying how easy it was. It's that's not going to fix their problem. They're going to be better, but they're not going to be better than the Eagles. They'll be better than the Giants. They'll be better than the Commanders because of the issues that the Commanders have. But still, they're not winning the division, so they're hoping for a wild card, hoping and praying. There's a lot of good teams in the NFC, Chris. A
Yeah.
lot of good teams in the NFC.
Well,
And
I
you're
think I
telling me the
think
Cowboys are going to somehow take that? No.
I think I'm going to stand what I said, which what you asked me is that they can make the playoffs and they can make it via wild card. And listen, man, a team that goes during this time and they traded for defensive tackle Quinn and Williams, we know that. But like I said, they just
Yeah.
also got Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson, and so a team that does that during that time tells me that they're a team that they think that if I get into the playoffs, aka the wild card, anything is possible with this offense, and that's a good belief. Hey, that's a good way of steering into the skid. So I'm all here
Yeah.
for it. Let's see the rest of this season how it plays out. But no, I'm answering the question. I'm sticking with the Cowboys making the wild
Okay. This is not, it's just your stubbornness that's talking. You're saying that that's why you're
card.
sticking with them there. But I think the biggest move is with the Jaguars. They went ahead and picked up Myers. They picked up Myers, a quality wide receiver from the Raiders, which is
Yeah. Oh
interesting.
yeah.
They just played them. They barely beat them, and they say, "Hey, we like that guy. Can we have him?" And
Yeah.
they trade him. I believe they get a fourth and a sixth round. They give a fourth and sixth round pick for Myers. Um, Listen, he's a quality player, Chris. I love to hear what you think about it, but it's the issues with the quarterback for me. So you have Travis Hunter, excuse me, is out for at least 4 weeks. You have Thomas, who's a stud, who's just not getting the ball, not doing anything there. The passing game looks horrible. You want to add in Myers here? Okay, cool. But I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence throwing inaccurate pass after inaccurate pass after inaccurate pass. So I don't know. It's a big time move, but I don't see this really changing that much for the Jacksonville Jaguars unless somehow that he's a good enough decoy or does something that opens up Thomas. I don't know. I'm hoping it works. I just have
Yeah.
my doubts.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the real question, Johnny, that we have to ask ourselves at the trade deadline is this more because we had an injury, right, and Travis Hunter had to go on IR, or is this more
Uh-huh.
because we want to give Lawrence another look, another wide receiver, and see if Trevor Lawrence is the real answer? Like we got to read between the lines here for the Jaguars. Which one is it? I think, because if I'm Cohen as a new coach, I'm like, let me throw this guy in, and if my quarterback is still butt, I'm trying to keep it PG here, is still butt, then maybe that tells me next year I got to do something. And that's what I think this move is for. In other words, I'm saying is that even if Hunter was healthy, I think they would have made this move to see what they can get out of Trevor Lawrence. So, hey, I've got them winning 8, 9 games. Win more games. Trevor Lawrence, like you said this week, give me 300 yards, right? You got another tool in the toolbox. So let's see what happens.
We shall see. It should be interesting. But man, it's this NFL season, Chris, is just about over. Trade deadline is right around the corner in the NFL. Um, I'm curious to see if Miami's actually going to trade Waddle because there's rumors, but they said they're not. They said they'll only consider it with a first round pick plus, plus, plus. So we saw Jacoby Myers goes for a fourth and a sixth. Does Waddle warrant a first round pick plus, plus, plus?
Well, no, I don't think anything's going to happen. Now, as far as trade deadline, if it doesn't, maybe it'll be in the offseason. It won't be now. So definitely not, but with it being coming to an end, no, I don't think so. But
But
this,
does he warrant a first round pick? Waddle, does he warrant a first round pick?
it's going to
Because
depend on how
they've already said, the owner said a first round pick plus, not just a first round. Does he
yeah, it's going to
warrant that?
depend on how he finishes the year, right? It's going to depend on, can he give me 1,300 yards this year to justify that? But I think from an age perspective, he's young enough. From an ability perspective, definitely. But again, it's going to have to see what kind of yards you're going to finish off this year with. If you produce 100 yards and 13 touchdowns, yes, of course you'll get a first rounder for him. We're just going to have to see what he finishes out, what the stats say.
Okay, well, fair
Yep.
enough. The NFL season is more than halfway through, Chris.
Yep.
We're looking forward to this upcoming week. Guaranteed 10 wins
Yes.
from Florida Man Football this upcoming week here. Chris, I hope you enjoy your time in Indonesia. You're over there. I think that's where you're at, right? Yeah. Okay. Do your thing there. We should be back in the studio next week, hopefully. But if not, we'll just keep this going. This is pretty fun. So my apologies for any audio or visual issues here. That's what happens when we stream. We do this internationally. It happens. We did the
Yes.
best we could. We hope you guys enjoyed the content. See you next week. Later.